2.1 million ballots in 3 weeks' time. That was the plan. When Arizona Republicans ordered an audit of the presidential election results, they planned to get it all done in 3 weeks. They rented a fancy auditorium. They got color-coded T-shirts for all the ballot counters. Over the course of these 3 weeks, they said they would look at every single ballot cast for president in the most populous county in Arizona. All 2.1 million of those votes, they would look at those ballots so carefully using such magic technology, they would find the widespread voter fraud that they're sure must somehow exist, even though nobody else can see it. Well, we are now in the third and supposed to be final week of the election audit in Arizona. They're still searching for the phantom fraud. But at the end of this week, Friday of this week, they have to pack up their ballot counting tables. They have to pack up their fraud detecting magic light boxes and their colored T-shirts, because Friday, the end of this week, they need to give the event space back. That same auditorium is booked for high school graduations, which is a problem because in the 2.5 weeks they have already spent on this wild goose chase, this so-called audit has only gone through fewer than 300,000 ballots out of more than 2 million cast, which means it's not going to be done by Friday. But they have to leave. Last week, one of the Arizona Republicans overseeing this clown show admitted that there might be a little tiny problem with time here. He said by his estimate, the hand recount of the ballots wouldn't be done this week. Maybe it would go till July. The New York Times reports that at the rate they're currently going, the recount of all 2.1 million ballots will likely not wrap up until actually sometime in August. Whether it is July or August or Halloween, presumably they'll eventually reach the bottom of the pile. The make-believe audit of the election results in Arizona will eventually end, maybe? But what's becoming clear is that the Arizona election audit was not the main event here. Perhaps it was a rehearsal for what Republicans are going to try to do all over the country, so they can keep alive this fantasy that somehow election fraud is what explains why Donald Trump appeared to have lost his bid for re-election in 2020. Look in Georgia. Just like Arizona, Biden won the state of Georgia in the November election. But again, just like Arizona, Donald Trump and his Republican allies said the election in Georgia was a sham and riddled with fraud. Now, former Trump advisor Peter Navarro says once the recount in Arizona is done and dusted, they're going to drag the whole audit operation to Georgia next. Navarro telling the pro-Trump news outlet OAN that the scale of the so-called voter fraud in Georgia is much larger than in Arizona. So he says this is where the audit scheme should be run next. On top of those plans, Donald Trump himself last week ginned up a new conspiracy theory about the results in Michigan, saying that 150,000 votes for Joe Biden were, quote, miraculously dropped into the state of Michigan the morning after the election. He's calling for the Michigan State Senate, the Republican-controlled Michigan State Senate, to do a review of the election results in Michigan. That's just like the one that's going on in Arizona. He has now gone on to make a similar allegation for Wisconsin. Because why not? While we're doing all the recounting, might as well throw Wisconsin in the mix as well. What's going on in Arizona right now is not like the Republican Party getting their election fraud jitters out of their system. They just need to satisfy themselves that they've looked at everything and gone through every nefarious possibility, but they'll move on from this. They're not trying to move on from this. This is not a one-off thing they're going to do and then move on to other stuff. This is what they're going to do now. The Arizona thing is the first one, but they're going to do this traveling audit circus dragged around from one state to the next to try to keep this thing going. They're going to put partisans and conspiracy theorists in charge of faux official seeming audits and recounts and other processes, holding them up under the fake fraud detecting lights, working around the high school graduations, right? They're just going to keep doing this over and over and over again until, how long can they keep it going? This is their new plan for what the Republican Party is doing around the country. Keep a watchful eye on this space. Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.